On April 7, 2022, in DeRidder, Louisiana, the 911 dispatch center received a brief call.
911, where's your emergency?
Hi, I need to report a crime.
Okay, what's the address?
265 Northridge Drive in DeRidder, Louisiana.
Stay on the line while I get DeRidder Police on with us.
Thank you.
Just minutes later, officers would walk into a home where dinner was still on the stove, and 4 children had just lost their mother. When law enforcement arrived, they found 28-year-old Ashley Fish in the bathroom with a gunshot wound to the head. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Ashley Fish was the mother of 4 children, ranging in age from 2 to 9. At the time of the incident, all of her children were inside the house. Earlier that day, there were no signs that anything was about to happen. Life in the home appeared completely normal. There were no signs of forced entry, no strangers seen at the scene. So what really happened inside that house in just a matter of minutes? And what led to the 911 call that ended with a mother of 4 never waking up again? Ashley Fish was 28 years old, a young mother of 4 with children ranging from ages 2 to 9. Ashley didn't live a flashy life, and she wasn't the loud, attention-seeking type. Most of her time was spent with her family and her kids. Home-cooked meals, everyday routines, the same kind of life as countless other families in DeRidder, Louisiana. On April 7, 2022, it was supposed to be just another normal day. No party, no special plans, no warning signs that anything was about to go wrong. Ashley was in her own home. Her children were there too. Everything was unfolding the way it always did. No one in that house knew that just a few hours later, the lives of those 4 children would be changed forever.
You all right, babe?
The door was locked in the room. And...
Okay, can you sit right here for me?
Yes.
Is anybody in there?
No. My sisters are inside right there.
Okay.
And we got my mommy. The eggs were burning and she's in there.
Okay, y'all come in here. Come right here.
No, I don't want to go.
Come here, stay in here, stay in here. 254 City.
What happened next wasn't just a single, spur-of-the-moment outburst. Inside that house, an argument broke out. Not for the first time, but this time, the air felt heavier than usual. Words were exchanged, voices grew louder, tension kept building, and then, a gun appeared. Its presence changed everything instantly. It was no longer an argument, no longer just words. Whatever was happening inside that home spiraled out of control. The normalcy of the morning vanished completely. And right before that fateful moment, this is where everything stops.
Come here! Come here!
Yeah, we're all alone.
Come help me!
Outside.
Come help me! Do you know these children?
Yes, they're our neighbors.
Okay.
Yeah, like Maggie.
You got parents here?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Can you take them to a secure place for me? Was there anybody else here, baby?
I don't think so. I don't know.
We've created...
On April 7, 2022, inside a home in DeRidder, Louisiana, a gunshot rang out. Ashley Fish was in the bathroom. That single shot ended her life instantly. There was no chance to fight back, no chance to scream for help. Just minutes later, someone called 911. It wasn't a confession to pulling the trigger, only a request to turn himself in. When law enforcement arrived, dinner was still unfinished in the kitchen. There were no signs of forced entry, no strangers. And in the bathroom, Ashley Fish, 28 years old, a mother of 4, was gone. All 4 children were still inside the home when the tragedy happened.
Is there one victim or 2?
I'm at Northridge.
City, do I have one victim or 2?
So we need to clear the rest of the house out. I was under the impression there was a male here too.
City police!
Hey, city police.
Go right. Police department! Quick!
See, when the glass was on the phone with him, I was under the impression there was a male subject that had been shot.
Look out in the backyard. What's that? A smell?
The eggs were burning.
Oh, they cook? Oh, okay.
Where's she at? She's in that bathroom.
Oh, here.
Everything else clear? Everything else is clear.
I didn't want to wait till you got here before I started trying to find an ID or anything. Hey, you want to turn the stove off?
Yes.
Ashley Fish. They're across the street. Ashley Fish. I'm assuming young based off of what I'm seeing here.
I went to school with her.
Did you?
Yeah.
So she's from East Beauregard?
Yeah. They moved away.
She any kin to Josh Fish?
No, I don't think so.
She's your age though, or?
Yeah. We graduated together, so we're about the same.
Detective Cooley, Beauregard Sheriff's Office.
Hey, jump around.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, y'all mind if I ask y'all a couple questions real quick?
Yeah, you can ask me anything, but I really didn't see anything. The only one that saw anything is my son.
Your son, the one that was mowed?
He was mowing out here.
Okay. What's your
Buddy?
name? Detective Cooley. Nice to meet you. Heard you kind of saw some stuff, just a little bit. Not much, but you seen some, something happen next door?
Well, I was just mowing the lawn, and then I saw, like, the car of the owner or whatever leave.
When law enforcement arrived at the home in DeRidder on April 7, 2022, it didn't look like the kind of chaos people usually expect after a serious act of violence. No screaming, nothing overturned, no signs of a prolonged struggle. The house still felt like everyday life had simply paused. The first person officers encountered was Ashley Fish's oldest daughter. Calmly, she told them her mother was inside. The officers made their way into the main bathroom. There, they found Ashley Fish lying on her left side on the floor. She was unresponsive. Her right hand was still holding a cell phone. Her head was resting in a large pool of blood. On the nearby sink, a semi-automatic handgun had been placed neatly, with a magazine beside it. In a bedroom, officers also found a gun holster. There were no signs of forced entry. Nothing appeared ransacked. No indication that a stranger had been inside the home. The scene carried a feeling that was hard to explain, too quiet and too orderly for what it had left behind. At that point, police hadn't reached any conclusions. But right there at the scene, a question started to take shape. If this was an accident, why did everything stop in exactly this way? The answer could only come from the medical examiner's office.
Here's what I've got right now. I know you got a lot of information coming in. Cameron has got the suspect, Tyler Grabowski,
Over at,
Park Terrace. He gave himself up without any problems.
and he told y'all that he did it.
Yeah.
They see the hair in it. I've called in the serial number. It's gonna be a Smith & Wesson.
She's been here for a minute?
If I had to guess, I mean, 'cause she's still having some coming out of the wound. She's still pretty warm, and if I had to guess, I'd say it's been between 45 minutes and an hour and 20.
Was that sitting right there?
Yes.
Alright, so once they run the strip, we back out and we get a search warrant.
Is that a 40 caliber?
Ashley Fish's body was transported for an autopsy later that same day, April 7, 2022. The medical examiner's findings confirmed. The cause of death was a gunshot wound to the head. The bullet entered behind the victim's right ear, causing catastrophic brain injury and death that was nearly instantaneous. At the wound site, the medical examiner noted a star-shaped pattern on the scalp, a classic sign of a contact gunshot wound, meaning the muzzle was pressed directly against the skin when the gun discharged. That detail carries major forensic significance. Contact wounds like this are not consistent with accidental scenarios, and they rarely occur in unintended shootings. The full body examination also found no defensive wounds on the hands or arms. No signs the victim tried to block, resist, or evade in her final moments. Ashley Fish was determined to be right-handed. When she was found, her cell phone was still in her right hand. That raised a key forensic issue. With her dominant hand holding a phone, it would be mechanically unlikely for her to simultaneously struggle over a gun with the other hand and still end up with a contact wound on the right side of her head. Investigators found no evidence of a stray or misdirected shot, a second gunshot wound, any indication the firearm was triggered unintentionally or out of control. Taken together, the forensic conclusions indicated the shot was fired from extremely close range. The placement was immediately lethal. The circumstances were not consistent with a random accident. From a scientific standpoint, Ashley Fish's death was not an unintended mishap, and from that point on, the focus of the case shifted away from the scene and onto the statement of the only person who was there. From the very first minutes, investigators didn't cast a wide net. They focused on the one person directly tied to what happened: Tyler Durakowski, 34, Ashley Fish's boyfriend. There were no signs of forced entry, no outside witnesses, no strangers seen at the scene. Everything pointed to whatever happened unfolding inside the house. While one team of officers secured and processed the scene, another was sent to the parking lot of the Burke's Outlet Shopping Center. That's where Tyler Durakowski said he would be waiting to be taken into custody. When officers found him, Tyler didn't resist. He willingly allowed himself to be handcuffed and was read his Miranda rights. In his initial statement, Tyler admitted he had been at Ashley Fish's home. An argument had occurred between them. The argument stemmed from personal issues and relationship problems. Tyler told police that Ashley pulled out a gun during the argument and that the shot went off while the two of them struggled over the weapon. But as investigators began comparing that account to what they were seeing at the scene, contradictions surfaced quickly. There were no signs of a violent struggle in the bathroom. Nothing appeared knocked over or out of place. Tyler had no defensive injuries. Tyler's truck was found parked at the Burke's Outlet lot, loaded with personal belongings, a detail that raised an obvious question for investigators. Had he been preparing to leave before all of this happened? A major turning point came when investigators obtained and analyzed the 911 recording. In that call, Tyler didn't request medical help. He didn't ask for an ambulance. He didn't attempt to get help for the victim. Instead, he made one thing clear: he needed to turn himself in, and he acknowledged that Ashley had been shot. As the physical evidence, the statements, and the call data were pieced together, the direction of the investigation became increasingly clear. This was no longer being treated as a vague accident. It was being treated as a homicide that needed to be fully explained. And from that moment on, the case moved into its next phase, testing the suspect's story against what the evidence was actually saying.
And some strawberries. Yummy. Yummy. Are y'all hungry?
The one you want to talk to is Riley. But yeah, she supposedly told my wife that she saw something and she didn't want to talk about it.
I know. Had my babies.
Hey.
Papa.
Hey, baby. Here, then we'll pick you up.
Bye, Alexis.
Less than an hour after the 911 call, Tyler Durakowski was arrested in the Burke's Outlet parking lot in DeRidder, Louisiana, exactly where he had said he would be in the emergency call. He was standing there, waiting. He didn't run, he didn't resist. After he was read his Miranda rights, Tyler appeared unusually calm. During the initial interview, Tyler admitted he was the one who called 911 and confirmed that Ashley Fish had been shot in the bathroom. But when it came to the pivotal moment, he repeatedly stressed one point: the gun went off accidentally during a struggle over the weapon. According to Tyler, Ashley pulled the gun first. He felt threatened. The shot fired while they were both holding the gun. But as investigators pressed for details, the contradictions started to surface. Tyler said he was scared, yet he also admitted he wasn't scared enough to leave. He said there was a struggle, yet the scene showed no signs of a physical fight. He said it was accidental, yet the autopsy indicated a contact gunshot wound fired with the muzzle pressed against the victim's head, with a precise entry point behind her right ear. Another key detail came up in the interview. Ashley Fish was right-handed. When she was found, her phone was still in her right hand. That made the struggle explanation difficult to square mechanically. When confronted with the forensic findings, Tyler didn't change his story. He continued to insist that he hadn't pulled the trigger with the intent to kill, only that he handled the situation the wrong way. That mismatch between his words and the evidence is what shifted the entire case. From that point forward, the question was no longer, was there a gunshot? The question became, who controlled the gun and with what intent in that final moment? And the answer wouldn't be decided in the interview room, but later in a courtroom.
I would love to know. We would all love to know, just for the sake of you and for the sake of Ashley, obviously.
I mean, I feel like giving a statement just because I'm here. I don't know how long I wait for a lawyer to get here or whatever, but I just wanted to talk about what happened, tonight. So I don't know if that's,
I think it's important,
Okay.
because right now we've got, obviously,
I think I need to tell what happened. I left about 6 p.m., a little around 6 p.m. I'm not even quite sure when it was when I called the actual police department. I called 911. What I had left it as, there were 4 children in the house and a woman.
After an investigation and formal prosecution, Tyler Durakowski was officially charged by the Louisiana District Attorney's Office with second-degree murder in connection with the death of Ashley Fish. Prosecutors argued that the shooting was not an accident. There was no evidence of lawful self-defense. The forensic evidence supported an intent to kill. At trial, Tyler maintained the same story, that he never intended to kill Ashley and that the gun discharged out of control during a struggle. But the jury rejected that argument. Key factors the jury considered included his 911 call in which he acknowledged Ashley had been shot, the bullet's placement and trajectory, the clear indicators of a contact gunshot wound, the absence of any defensive injuries on Tyler, a scene that showed no signs of a physical struggle. After weighing all the evidence, the jury unanimously found Tyler Durakowski guilty. In March 2024, the court sentenced him to life in prison at hard labor with no parole, no probation, and no suspended sentence. Tyler Durakowski later filed an appeal, continuing to claim he did not pull the trigger with the intent to kill. However, the Louisiana Third Circuit Court of Appeal denied the appeal, upholding both the conviction and the sentence. The court concluded that his statement on the 911 call carried legal weight. The scientific evidence did not support an accident scenario. There was sufficient basis to establish an intent to kill. With that ruling, the Ashley Fish case was legally closed. One man would spend the rest of his life behind bars, and 4 children, from April 7, 2022 onward, would grow up without their mother. Ashley Fish's case isn't a complicated story. There was no elaborate plot, no chain of events stretched out over days. It happened in a familiar space, between 2 people who once trusted each other. And within just a few minutes, there was no going back. Legally, the case is closed. A life sentence is the final punctuation mark for the person who caused the tragedy. But for the victim's family, especially the 4 children, this story will never truly end. Since April 7, 2022, that home has never been the same. A mother never came back. And the childhood of 4 children was permanently split into 2 parts, before that day and after. This case leaves behind a quiet warning. Domestic violence doesn't always begin with fists. Sometimes it starts with threats, with control, with a single moment of lost restraint in the place that's supposed to feel the safest. Ashley Fish shouldn't be remembered as just a name in a court file. She was a mother, a woman living an ordinary life, until everything was taken from her in an instant. And that may be the most haunting part of this case, not how it ended, but how easily it could have happened to anyone.